and the story is titled, Me, 32 male, wife 37 female, married 16 months plus 12 months of dating, wife cheated for 2 months. Let's get right into it. About a month ago, I came home from work a little early, and I found my wife and a woman she works with together. They weren't doing anything but looked instantly guilty, and strengthened the suspicions I've been having for weeks. My wife admitted to everything that night. Clearly, I was floored. For me, cheating is pretty much the ultimate sin, not religious. Cheating, lying, the whole nine. She had lied about her whereabouts a few times, missed a few of my family outings to spend time with her girlfriend. The fact that it was a woman does not bother me. I don't blame her for anything she didn't choose. What I blame her for is cheating on me for 2 months, no matter who it's with. That night, I told her to leave, then realized that both our names are on the lease for our apartment, so I can't actually kick her out. I told her this, and she left anyway, and has stayed gone since then. Contact has been somewhat limited since, but she asked me not to box her stuff up, which I've complied with. I am literally staring at her stuff all the time. Tonight she called asking if she could come over and talk. She basically begged and pleaded for around 3 hours for me to take her back. I refused and refused and refused. She kept saying she was so sorry, that if there was anything she could ever do to make it up to me. Around the 2-hour mark, I told her she needed to leave, and she redoubled her efforts. She was threatening to kill herself, which she had done in the beginning too, to which I rationally and truthfully tried to tell her that I did not want her to do it. It would only be worse, etc. I am doubting myself right now. Is cheating for the first time, despite the relatively short length we've been together, enough to call it quits immediately? I've told my best friend, one of which was previously her best friend, and family. They've all immediately turned on her. My best friends knew her before how I met her, and they started telling me the terrible things she'd done when she was younger. I don't pry into her past, it's none of my business, but this is apparently not the first marriage she's broken up. We have no kids, no property. I do make nearly double what she does, $60K versus $30K. She is really going to be somewhat up Essex Creek, pulling $500 a week in an area where the cheapest rents for an apartment complex are around $800 a month, plus her car payment, minus $275. Health insurance is through my job as well. Her job does not offer it. Maybe this is somewhat petty, but she called me crying about 2 weeks ago. She called me crying because she had moved in with her girlfriend, and her girlfriend decided she was going to get back with her wife of 6 months that she had left for my wife, not even going to touch that mess, and the girlfriend and her wife were getting back together. So my wife did not call me crying because our relationship was over. She called me crying because her relationship was over with her new girlfriend. This really hit a bad chord with me when I realized what happened about 6 hours later. It's been a week since my last post, and a lot has happened since then. And the second story is titled, Update, Wife Cheated and Manipulated Our Kids, I Don't Know What to Do. Let's get right into it. As I read comments on my previous posts, many of you had doubts that she's still having an affair or sleeping with someone else. I don't think that's possible. Since her affair in October, she left her job as soon as I discovered the affair, and then we installed cameras in our house and I could see the live view of camera whenever I wanted. She barely goes out and just watches Netflix while eating snacks. She has also gained around 60 to 70 pounds in this period of time. So hiring a PI for investigating that if she's having an ongoing affair is not reasonable to me. Many of you suggested recording her conversation with me about her affair. This was a solid move, thanks to Reddit. I also recovered my old messages and receipts to give to my kids to prove that I was on the work trip last year. Also, many of you suggested to recover texts and pictures from my Mac using some professional help, but my wife is a tech specialist, so I don't think she would have any evidence left. I ordered good quality small and portable voice recorder. I also planned a trip to my parents' house with the kids as I wanted alone time with them to describe the situation. They love their grandparents, so I knew they wouldn't deny the trip. I also told my whole plan to my colleague and requested her to understand my situation. She was very supportive and told me she would not contact me for a whole week except for work-related issues. On Wednesday, my voice recorder arrived at my office. On Thursday evening, I drove my kids to my parents' house. They stayed there, but I returned to my house after dropping off the kids. I spent the night in my house with my wife. I started voice recorder and kept it in my pocket. I tried to initiate intimacy with my wife, but she was ignoring me. I asked her what she has done for me in the past year other than manipulating my kids against me. She started shouting and said, "I'll make sure they never know the truth and you'll never be able to get a divorce." I asked her if she would ever be intimate with me, to which she answered by saying, "I have no interest in S, but you have, so it's not my problem. Go look for it somewhere else." I said that I'm not like her and I would never break my vows for an affair like she did. At this point, she was angry and said, "I had an affair because you left me lonely and treated me like crap. If you want, you can have one too, but don't disturb me." She was so loud that even our neighbors would have heard that. I got the proof I needed to prove my children I was not a cheater. On Friday, I took a voice recorder in office, edited the audio, and saved it on multiple devices. I also collected other proofs of me at work on business trip last year. In the evening, I went to my parents' house and spent the night there. On Saturday morning, I sat down with kids and told them my side of the story. They obviously didn't believe me until I showed them proof. My daughter started crying, my kids hugged me and assured me that they will never hate me or act rude towards me in the future. TBH, this was the moment I was waiting for a year. That night was the best night of my life. I never had felt so close to my kids in years. Now here I am with my kids preparing for mountain climbing. I haven't told the kids about my colleague. On Sunday, I called my wife and told her that me and the kids are going on vacation and would not be able to contact her for the next 3 to 4 days. I also contacted my lawyer and told him to prepare divorce papers. I also plan to start family therapy with my kids so that my communication with them can improve. I am planning to tell them about my colleague after divorce during therapy. Thanks to all the Redditors who gave me the idea of voice recording. This will be my last post, but if anything happens, I'll update you guys.